Hey, it's Andrew here. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about Social Security changes, the next two stimulus packages, and daily news updates as well. There is a $1,500 stimulus payment that has already been approved. Yes, it's already been approved and it's going to be distributed via a tax credit. So we're going to discuss the details and how to qualify for that in this video. But before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I also have a second channel, so if you could do me a huge favor, click the link that's in the description of this video. It's going to take you to my second channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and click the link, go subscribe. It really goes a long way in supporting my work. Okay, let's discuss the $1,500 stimulus payment that, yes, has already been approved, the details of it, and exactly how to qualify. But first, we have a quick update directly from the White House. Press Secretary Jen Psaki just gave an update on stimulus plans and how stimulus relates to the economic recovery.
Speak to the unemployment insurance numbers that came out this morning. Those claims fell to yet another pre-pandemic low, and while we'll continue to note that these weekly numbers can be volatile, the larger trend in initial unemployment number claims shows clear economic progress for America since President Biden took office. Since his inauguration, the 4-week average of initial unemployment claims has fallen by over 1/3, and the chart, I always love a good chart, behind me shows that there's been a clear and sustained decrease over that time frame. And over the last 3 months, employment growth has averaged 500,000 jobs per month, 8 times the number of new jobs created per month on average in the 3 months before he took office.
Really good news regarding unemployment. Unemployment continues to tick down. At the same time, the White House has taken some heat for extending the unemployment boost until the end of September, as Republicans argue that if it wasn't for this unemployment boost, that more people would have even gone back to work at this point. But guys, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Personally, I disagree, but if I had to make one argument, I would say they maybe should have ended that a little bit sooner and then used that extra money to funnel it into Social Security benefits. Because, for example, imagine if the unemployment boost had ended in May, and then that extra money from those 4 months could have gone to provide that $200 per month boost for Social Security benefits. Just a thought, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We also have a quick update from the White House regarding vaccinations and how things are going as far as vaccinating the entire country.
The governor of Ohio has announced that they will be doing weekly drawings of $1 million for residents who've received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. What does the White House think of that idea?
Well, in this phase of the vaccinations, at the state and local level, leaders are going to take new, creative approaches to getting more shots in arms. The Department of Treasury has comprehensive guidelines, but does not typically opine on each individual program or creative approach by different states. And typically we leave that up to states and local leaders to determine, as long as it falls within those specific guidelines for the programs.
And are you moving to, or should we all be potentially moving to Ohio?
I leave that up to you. I have a special love for Ohio in my house because my husband's from Cincinnati, so I have recommendations if you ever move there.
Gosh, a $1 million lottery just to get vaccinated. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Some people are saying that's actually a waste of money. They shouldn't be doing this with their tax money. Personally, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it does incentivize people to get vaccinated. And to clarify, yes, if you've already gotten your vaccine, you qualify for the lottery. You don't just have to be someone new getting the vaccine, because of course that would punish people who previously already had their vaccine. Now, for this plan, you have to be 18 years or older. It's only in Ohio. And if you're 16 years or older, you'll qualify for a lottery that will actually provide free college. So it's kind of an experiment. People are saying it's controversial, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Personally, I love it. I wish every state would do this. I wish my state did this because, I mean, honestly, if you're getting the vaccine already, it's going to help save lives and you qualify for potentially winning a $1 million lottery. Pretty cool idea in my opinion. Now, we also have a quick update from the White House regarding masks. As most of you know at this point, yesterday the CDC advised that if you're vaccinated, you no longer have to wear your mask even if you're indoors. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments, and let's see exactly how the White House responded, and then we'll get right into stimulus.
In the Oval Office with the Big Four, four vaccinated individuals.
The Big Four.
They were all still wearing masks. You know, the CDC guidance says that vaccinated Americans can gather in small groups inside without masks. So why aren't we seeing the president model more of that behavior?
Well, they were wearing masks. I can confirm that. You all saw that in photos. I know this has ruffled the feathers of the RNC. I'm always feel bad about ruffling their feathers. But I will say that the focus of the meeting was on seeing if there's a way to move together, to work toward shared objectives of investing in infrastructure, creating jobs for the American people. And I think that's what most people's focus is on.
But the argument has been that if you can take your mask off, that may incentivize others to get vaccinated, right? To be able to participate in some of the benefits of being vaccinated. But yet we aren't really seeing the president sort of lead by example on that.
The president doesn't wear his mask when he's outside. That guidance is clear. There were a number of people in the Oval Office yesterday. Obviously, there was a whole press pool. But again, I think if the big takeaway from the meeting yesterday, I think what most people look at it and take away is that the president sat there with Democrats and Republicans. They all came out of the meeting saying it was constructive, looking to see what the path forward could be about how we can create jobs and rebuild roads, rails, and bridges. And that was what the objective of the meeting was.
Okay. So every time the CDC loosens the guidelines on wearing masks, Republicans come out firing shots at Biden saying, hey, CDC said you no longer have to wear a mask outdoors, but you got off your helicopter and were wearing your mask outdoors with your wife. Now the CDC says as long as you're all vaccinated, you no longer have to wear your mask indoors. And immediately Republicans call him out for having a meeting yesterday about stimulus and still wearing his mask. Now, bottom line here, wearing masks save lives, period. That's a scientific fact, but wearing the mask has become very politicized. Personally, I'm going to stay out of that argument, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. The White House essentially kind of just dodged that question. I just want to say that I'm personally pretty surprised that the CDC came out that quickly and said, hey, you no longer have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. Pretty exciting, kind of heading back to normal. At the same time, I feel like we're all so used to wearing masks that it's almost going to be weird at first to take them off. Now, in that meeting, Mitch McConnell voiced his objection to raising taxes. Remember, President Biden wants to raise taxes on corporations and the wealthy in order to fund these next two stimulus packages and hopefully fund increased Social Security payments. Now, Mitch McConnell does not want to raise taxes on the wealthy, and the White House gave a quick response regarding stimulus and how it relates to taxes.
Senator Mitch McConnell said that based on the meeting yesterday, the president understands that the 2017 tax law is no longer a part of the conversation about financing any bipartisan infrastructure deal. Is that an accurate assessment of the state of play?
Well, what the president understands is there's agreement, as is evidenced by Senator McConnell's comments, that we need to invest in infrastructure. We need to create jobs, that bridges are not Democratic or Republican. They don't have party affiliation, it turns out. How to pay for it has long been the area where we need to find more common ground. The president's proposed a way to pay for it. We have not seen proposals that wouldn't raise taxes on people making less than $400,000 a year. So if they feel that changing the 2017 tax laws, bringing it back to the rates that were the rates when George W. Bush was president, raising taxes on just 1% of Americans is not the way to do it, then we welcome what their alternatives are.
Again, the White House is trying to control the narrative and point out the fact. Mitch McConnell wants to raise taxes on the middle class. President Biden wants to raise taxes on the wealthy. Now, whether or not you agree with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments, but that is the narrative that the White House is trying to push. And quite frankly, I am in support of raising taxes on the wealthy to pass more stimulus and to increase Social Security benefits. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this next stimulus package in regard to taxes, because it's not just Republicans who are opposing an increased tax, it's moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin as well. And Democrats are going to need Joe Manchin's vote in order to get this done. So we might see some level of compromise, but I do expect an increased tax on the wealthy in order to pass more stimulus. Now, a lot of people have been asking me in the comments, Andrew, if the economy continues to recover, will we still receive more stimulus? Because at the same time, we all want the economy to recover. We all want to go back to normal, but at the same time, we want more stimulus. So people are worried. If the economy continues to grow and recover, Can we still get stimulus? So they actually asked Jen Psaki this question, and let's see what she had to say, how stimulus is connected to the economic recovery, and then we're going to discuss the details of that $1,500 stimulus payments and exactly how you can qualify.
So kind of a broader economic question. The UI numbers kind of underscoring it's kind of been a bumpy last couple of weeks, which I think everybody kind of expects coming out of a once-in-a-century pandemic. But you characterize how important is the economic recovery continuing at a decent pace to your broader legislative goals? Like, does that underpin your ability to do the scale of the things that President Biden has put on the table?
Well, I would unpack that a little differently. We know that continuing to increase the pace of vaccinations, getting more people vaccinated, is going to have a direct impact on people going back to work for a range of reasons, including people feeling safe to do so, including childcare facilities opening up so that people can send their kids there. And we know that that has had a big impact, of course, over time. These are twin crises that are related. But the proposals the president has made for the American Jobs Plan, for the American Families Plan, there are certainly some impacts that will be very beneficial over the short term. Additional assistance for childcare, of course, beginning to put more and more people back to work. We know there's more we need to do. More than 8 million people are still out of work. But these are also proposals and ideas that have a long-term impact, that will increase our competitiveness over the long term, that will help ensure we can compete with China. So, there's an argument to be made that we need to continue to get through the crisis we are in, but we also need to think about what's next and how we're building the workforce of the future, and that will continue to be his argument.
And just to put a quick fire point on it, broader point being, because of the long-term effect of the proposals that were put on the table, what happens with economic numbers in the near term has no effect whatsoever on the president's decision to pursue those going forward.
Well, first I would say we look at averages, right, over the course of time. So we've created about 500,000 jobs on average over the last few months, and we know these numbers and these data can go up and down. We also know, and this is why I referenced the pandemic, because we know that there has been a massive increase over even just the last month in the number of people who have been vaccinated in comparison with what the numbers were in the week that they were measured for this month's jobs numbers. That was a bit of a roundabout, but I was trying to get to a point there. So we know that. There's no question also, and economists have said that these proposals, the American Jobs Plan, would help put more people back to work. There's more we need to do, but it's both, right? So it doesn't impact the fact that we still need to do more over the long term for competitiveness. But certainly, as we still see more than 8 million people out of work, it is a reminder of the need to do more now, and that the economy needs more now, and that we need to do more now across communities to create jobs.
Okay, that was a really long political answer, but bottom line, her answer basically was, even if the economy continues to flourish, it's not really going to affect the next two stimulus packages because they already kind of have this baked into their projections. They're expecting an economic recovery. Now, that being said, if something crazy happens, if the economy skyrockets and is kind of growing too quickly, they might have to scale back some stimulus. On the other hand, if the economy kind of double dips, things get worse again, of course, then they might want to pass even more stimulus. This is why we need updates daily, because things are constantly changing. So we do expect to have the next two stimulus packages approved, and the size of them is not really dependent on the short-term economic recovery. But that being said, if something extreme happens, they could have to tweak the next two stimulus packages accordingly. All right, let's talk about that $1,500 stimulus that's already been approved. Yes, it's already been approved, and this is actually something that's been expanded to include seniors. Now, you might have heard of this earned income tax credit. Most people who are seniors usually ignore this because they usually don't qualify. Well, the most recent stimulus package that was approved, the American Rescue Plan, actually expanded this to include those who are 65 years or older. Really good news. This means that if you're 65 years or older, that this year for 2021, you will qualify for that $1,500 earned income tax credit. Now, first of all, this credit is usually about $500, but it was increased to over $1,500. Now, in order to qualify for this, you do have to work. Now, I know a lot of you on Social Security benefits can't work anymore for various reasons. Sometimes you're disabled, things like that. But this stimulus tax credit almost incentivizes you to work just a little bit, because this year in 2021, If you make a total combined income of less than $16,000 and you worked and earned income, you will be qualified for that $1,500 tax credit. That's a huge incentive because usually when you're retired, it's almost not even worth working sometimes if you're going to be taxed. This earned income stimulus tax credit completely removes that tax from the first $1,500 that you make. And I did the math. If you make $15 per hour and you work one shift a month, one 8-hour shift, you will make about $1,500 that year and about an extra $100 a month completely tax-free. Now, that is a really good stimulus incentive, and that would add a lot of money to millions of Americans' pockets. And let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I know it's not technically free stimulus. You do have to work, but then you get to keep a lot more of that money in your pocket because of this expanded earned income tax credit. I just wanted to let you guys know that because a lot of seniors don't realize that this tax credit has been expanded to those who are 65 and older. Generally, you had to be between 25 and 64 years old to qualify, but now they've expanded that and they eliminated that 65-year-old age limit. So you can qualify for this. If you're on benefits, I just want to point out the fact that including your Social Security benefits, you still have to make $16,000 or less total. So if your Social Security benefits add up to more than $16,000 a year already, this stimulus tax credit honestly will not benefit you. But I know a lot of people on benefits who make $800 a month, $1,000 a month, and they would qualify for this tax credit. So really good news. We continue to get more stimulus as things go on, and we should have a lot of updates on Social Security changes, the next 2 stimulus packages, and daily news updates as well. So don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you updated. Remember, President Biden plans to approve 2 more stimulus packages this year, and Democrats are still fighting to increase Social Security benefits as well. So we should have a lot of updates. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my work. I really do appreciate it. And again, if you could do me a quick favor, just go to my second channel, click on the link in the description of this video. It's going to take you to my second channel. If you subscribe there, it really, really goes a long way in supporting my work. So thank you so much, and until the next video, take care and have a great day.